Hello, Bucks fans. Welcome back to Real Bucks Talk. Very excited to do this video this morning, talking about the Buccaneers' initial 53-man roster and their practice squad additions. Some surprises there, some new guys that the Buccaneers signed as well. So, very excited to uh, present more videos on those guys in the coming days. But right now, looking at the Bucks roster, very excited about what they have put together. It's a very good team. We've been talking about it all offseason. This is a team that can be one of the best in the NFC and compete for a potential championship. They have all the makings of that. The coaching staff, the players, I think, are all aligned. But yeah, very good roster when looking at it and what they were able to put together. Again, there are still some areas that could use a little bit more depth, but that's going to be the case with every team. When you look at the Buccaneers offense, though, to start with, Mike Evans and the receiver room is very strong, and I think that's going to play a key factor, especially as the season gets going. So you have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. They decide to keep seven receivers on the roster. Chris Godwin not going to PUP. They expect him to be back by week 4, week 5. Start practicing in week 2. So that is great news that he's going to start ramping up here and hopefully be back in the early portion of the season. So you look at Meko Buka, and then you have Tez Johnson, both rookie receivers that were drafted by the team, make the team. Sterling Shepard, another good veteran that can play the slot and play different roles for this team. And then Ryan Miller, who really stood out this preseason with his special teams play and his ability to make things happen. Cameron Johnson, same thing, really shined in the special teams area. This last final preseason game again had good returns and had a couple drops. So we didn't think he was gonna make it right after that game. But again, the Bucks like him for his potential and obviously the special teams ability. So he's on the roster as of now. We'll see what happens down the road once Jalen McMillan, comes back. He might be the first one that is likely going to be let go and maybe be brought back on the practice squad. But again, we'll see how it plays out. I think again, it's very strong receiver room. Very excited to see how they're going to utilize these guys and the offense being a little bit different than last year, but pretty much the same. And then the very strong unit that basically holds all the keys is the offensive line. Tristan Wirfs, Ben Bredesen, Graham Barton, Cody Mock, Luke Gedeke. Tristan Wirfs, by all reports, it seems like he's going to be back by week 3, maybe week 2, if things go right. But looks like he'll be back for that home opener against the Jets. So that's great. And then you have Charlie Heck, Elijah Klein, Benjamin Chakuma. So this is the area that I am concerned with is the backup depth, just because it's pretty young and inexperienced. Elijah Klein, they really like his game. He is the top interior offensive line backup. So um, I think that's important, and hopefully he continues to take steps forward. I thought he played well in the preseason. So, and then Chakuma is kind of like their developmental piece that they're kind of continue to bring along. And I think he showed a lot of progress in the short time during the preseason. So that is encouraging. We'll get into some of their practice squad additions that they had on the offensive line. And I think that's an area where they could continue to look and maybe try to improve the depth there. So we'll see what happens. But the main thing is hopefully the starting five stays healthy. I think that's going to be key for the Bucks. But I think if Charlie Heck as your swing tackle and then Elijah Klein, again, it's not terrible. I think those guys are more than capable of starting some games here or there if needed. But we'll see how it goes. Again, very strong unit. I think they're going to improve on what they did well last year and hopefully be a very good unit for this team and this offense. And then tight end basically stays the same, so not much to say there. You have Otten, Durham, and Keefe and Devin Culp, who the team is high on. So we'll see what happens there. Quarterback, we talked about this on the live stream, but Baker Mayfield and Bridgewater as the backup, I think makes a lot of sense. And Baker is going into his third year with the Bucs, and I think he's going to continue to take steps forward and hopefully lead this offense to that next level that they've been talking about very often, and hopefully find consistency, avoid the losing streaks, and maintain excellence throughout the year. So that's going to be fun to watch, and can't wait to see him suit up next week against Atlanta. He didn't play in the preseason, so it's going to be exciting to see how this offense comes out and starts the season. And then the running game, led by Bucky Irving, Rashad White. You have Sean Tucker, Josh Williams, really good group there. I think it's going to be cool to see the pony package 21 personnel and how they utilize Irving and White more in the passing game. I think they're going to be utilized more in that area to get them out in space and try to create explosive plays. So that's going to be really fun. And then just running the football, I think trying to run it more consistently and really wear teams down, I think is going to be fun to watch. So that'll be cool. And then defensively, where I think the team is going to make the most improvements this year. I think defensively they have the right mindset. They got the players to make an impact. I think, obviously the key pieces with Yaya Diaby taking that next step and Hassan Reddick making an impact, I think is going to be cool. Having Kalijah Cansey healthy for the first time in his career going into his season, I think is going to be great to see. And if he can stay healthy, maybe he can, get those double-digit sacks that we're looking for. So it'll be exciting to see how he plays. And next to Vita Vea, Logan Hall, can he take another step forward like he did last year and be more consistent, better overall? So far, Todd Bowles talked very highly about him. So that is good news. But defensive line, it was some surprise. They only kept 5 on the initial 53, but they have some good defensive line added to the practice squad. So I would expect one of those guys to be elevated. Outside linebacker, again, no real surprises there. Marquise Watts stays as special teams contributor and someone that could offer pass rush if needed. And then the inside linebackers. This is where like the big surprise came. Anthony Walker was let go. He just wasn't healthy, and they were really impressed by the 2 UDFAs that they got, and John Bullock, who made the team because of special teams, and then Deion Jones, again, another one who showed up in training camp, played well in the preseason, and then Nick Jackson, who they brought back. So they were excited about that room. So you feel good there. And then the secondary, again, nothing really, stood out. So they brought, you have Jamel Dean, McCollum, Morrison, and Parrish, who both are expected to play this year. So that'll be fun to watch them. Josh Hayes and Kendall Vildor, who really shined in preseason and adds to the special teams value. And then Antoine Winfield, Tyke Smith, Christian Izzian, Merriweather, Rashad Wisdom making the team. Excited about that. He just offers that versatility, but really good room back here in the secondary. And I hope guys can stay healthy. That's going to be the key. Can they stay healthy throughout the year? But also, they have the depth, I think, to withstand better in situations if injuries do occur. So that is exciting. Overall, this team is ready, I think, to compete and get a deeper playoff run. I think that's the goal. So hopefully we can make that happen. And then the specialists really improved here. Riley Dixon was outstanding as a punter in the preseason. I think he's going to help this team tremendously. McLaughlin, he's just, money automatic guy. So really good special teams right there. Evan Deckers. So yeah, really excited about this team. I think they have the chance to not only repeat as division champs, but make a run, into the playoffs and hopefully, you know, get get to a championship potentially. Again, it's still early. A lot of things are going to have to take place. We'll see how things play out next week going into week one against Atlanta. That should be a lot of fun to break down. But yeah, I mean, this team has all the makings to make it a good year. And then looking at the practice squad, kind of similar, names that we expected to be back. I'm excited that Bryce Hall has returned. And then we got some new guys that came on board. Jack Henderson, the safety from Carolina, played for Minnesota in college. So that is a good move. Bringing back Nick Jackson, Jason Jones, big defensive lineman from Baltimore. I love that addition. I think he is really good at stopping the run. Offers some pass rush as far as condensing the pocket, but he's another one that's going to be fun to see if he gets on the field this year. But that is, I think, a smart addition. And then some of the offensive linemen that have come back, Michael Jordan, he's probably going to be your ninth offensive lineman, and be that extra lineman because he can play inside or outside. And then Mohamed Kamara, the Buccaneers picked up this guy, which I think is cool. Again, he was a fifth round pick last year. He was a lot of people's like draft crush as far as watching, the college tape, and it's excited to see him here. He's got a lot of ability, athletic, but again, overall small. Again, not very long in length, but plays with a lot of passion, a lot of motor, and has some pass rush ability. So it'll be fun to see how he develops, and maybe he could be someone that the Bucs count on for next year alongside David Walker. And but who knows? I mean, he might get called up. This season. We'll just have to see how that plays out. But excited to add him. I think he will be, someone to watch. But yeah, overall, I think this team is ready. I think they're ready uh, to make a statement this year, and hopefully we see that going into the 2025 season. But want to hear from you guys. Let us know what you think of the Buccaneers roster and their practice squad. What stands out to you? Hopefully, you guys are doing it okay, or not in shock as far as that Micah Parsons trade. I mean, Jesus, the Cowboys don't know what they're thinking, but the NFL is exciting. But getting back to the Buccaneers, hope you guys are looking forward to the season. Want to hear your thoughts on the roster. What else do you expect? I mean, what else do you want the Bucs to do as far as moves? Should they go out and get some other veterans? Let us know. And with that said, we'll see you on the next one.